Hey everybody, Squirrel Dev here. First off, kinda sorry for not uploading for the past couple of weeks. I've been down sick. That's also why my voice is kinda might sound kind of weird at the moment. I'm here to bring you an update on Free Liberation DX2. I just pretty much just woke up this morning and decided I feel good enough today, might as well get a lot of work done. So that's what I did. So, one of the first things I should probably mention right now is I have not finished porting over the old server yet, but I've got kind of a bit of it done, or at least the most important parts done when it comes to the first tutorial. So, I did get login done and over with, as well as the get base data, which I'm not entirely sure what it does, except for fetch some JSON files, which I've stored in this JSON folder. But I'm not sure what those JSON files really contain and whatnot. That's kind of all of a mystery to me. And honestly, I don't feel like digging into it because it doesn't seem that worthwhile at the moment. Um, Other than that, we got this tutorial user create, which the user uses to input their username and stuff. And I'm pretty sure I got this parameter wrong based on my recent testing. But I'll find out what the correct gender parameter is so I can update that in the player's JSON. I also got battle entry, battle next, and battle result for the tutorial. Pretty self-explanatory, and tutorial map, which of course can use the final map. And that's kind of where we are at right now. Now, going over to the JSONs folder, I have kind of gotten it a little organized. I've gotten it into get URL, load info, and title. These three I'm deciding to keep in the root. I might make a folder for them in the future, but for right now, just best for keep them separate, simply because it's easier. In base, we have a couple of things. First off, we have base data versions, which match this in the base data folder. The get base data will basically ask for a number between 1 and 4, and base data version will supply the corresponding JSON file, basically. And the base data version basically checks up against that file to see if it's correct and everything. It might be a checksum, might just be a version thing. I don't know. But I wasn't really willing to mess with it. IGT list, I am fairly certain is for the in-game tutorials, since there's also a function later down the road that will be called in-game tutorial check and in-game tutorial IGT, you know, a whole list of IGTs. Probably checks against this list to see if it's still present in the player profile. We got random names, which of course is used in the creation of a player. Setting data, which I've separated into its own little thing. And new player JSON, which is pretty much everything that isn't separated into its own stuff. And devils.json, which is of course, you know, the devils demons that the player will have. And these are all effectively, if you're creating a new player from scratch, that will be put into its data directory. We also have tutorial, which I put map.json and tutorial battle entry.json in there. I will likely move this out into battles tutorial battle. But also in battles, there will be another series of folders basically containing all the battles for all the main story missions and such. And finally, a big excitement here, dramas. Dramas are where all the text stuff is. So let's just open up 001QB. This is the text essentially for the battle that happens after the tutorial battle. It'll be chapter 1-1. And it basically has text assigned to IDs, and then they got commands that tell the phone what to do, or sorry, app what to do. And of course we got Kara's, which basically lists the characters. And then of course up here is names. I don't know why names and Kara's are different, but whatever, it's what the app developers wanted, so who am I? Oh wait, I see. Kara's includes the image. Names just includes the name. That's right, because over here in tutorial New Game 01, there are two names. There's question mark, question mark, question mark, and Einerjar. And they both are assigned to Einerjar's character profile pic. Since it's first you don't know his name, and then he reveals himself to be Einerjar. But yeah, I got all that stuff taken care of. And finally, some more really exciting stuff. I created a few little tools. The first one is return blank. All it does is return a blank JSON. This is useful for functions that don't really do anything, or I'm not sure exactly what they're supposed to do. So, and it's okay for them to return a blank thing. I just use blank. And finally, I created a new thing called JSON tools. And JSON tools will take multiple files from the JSON folder and read the contents and combine them all to a single JSON object and then return that object. And that's JSON tools.combine. JSON tools.add2 will read the file, add a value or change, basically, and write it. It's just a one function to simplify reading the file, writing the data to the file, writing it back. And function move just simply copies the file. I just put JSON tools.move in order to have them to keep from this slightly longer string. I don't know why. I also have param tools, and this one is a completely new idea for me. It will be expanded in the future. Maybe. I don't know. But right now there's only one function, clean. And what happens is whenever, as you know, whenever the app sends a request, it has its param all like, that was not a good example. Maybe if I scroll up a bit. Okay, I guess so. Here. Param equals lang equals 1 and path equals tutorial, and you know, all that stuff. Well, you know, param equals lang equals 1 is not, you know, really what it is. So all this does is takes that param out of it and then turns that first equal sign into a colon, no matter what comes initially after param. And I can pass any of those strings through it, and it will convert it to a what I call clean JSON object. That way, I can truly go, hey, you know, the tutorial path is this, or the lang is that, and not have to worry about which the app decides to send first, because sometimes the app will not want to send stuff in the same orders. And so that'll definitely get more use in the future. And the final one, which will definitely get more updates, is Devil Tools. And right now it only updates devils.json with any demons that are basically added. It takes an array of JSON objects, which represent the different demons you can get in the game. And each demon object has a unique identifier called UNIQ. And what it does is it takes that input and it takes the data player 0devils.json, parses it, and makes data. Devils owned is data.devils, and devils to add is the input, and then takes each devil to add, checks the unique values in the JSON array. And yeah, even though it says JSON array 2, honestly, this code was actually generated by ChatGPT. But I have tested it. I can confirm it does what it says. But that's why some of my code is one way, some of my code's another way. I'm using ChatGPT to help me write this thing easier. But basically just checks if the unique value is in the array, then update that devil to the new one. And if it's not, just add it to the array. And then push, basically update devil num to devil's own .length. And then write that back to devils.json. So that is it for the tools I have updated. Later on, after I finish porting the rest of the server and making small little changes, I will likely work on creating the rest of the core game experience. And shortly after that, I will work on dumping the entire library of dramas and battles. And that is something that cannot really done automatically. I would have to go through each battle and go through each drama. I might be able to create a Wireshark script that can help me with this. But other than that, I really don't know what I can do to help go through this process, because if you remember from the first episode, there's this argument called param in the official app that connects to the official servers, and I can't really read that, which is why I had to make the modified version of the app in the first place. But other than that, just a few couple really minor updates to README. I did make it so that way by default the app will read from Contents Android Custom. This is to combat a future problem in which the asset scraper won't fetch will always fetch the newest version, and the app won't use that. So what you would have to do is you would have to copy everything from content/android/ the bundle version to a new folder called Contents Android Custom. And then you go into Contents Android Custom ablist.txt, open it in Notepad or whatever, and just change the first line to custom. And after you save it, you just rerun the server from there. Other than that, that's pretty much about it. So yeah. See you guys next time.